So, you know how the whole April showers bring May flowers ordeal goes?
Yeah.
Well,
What about it?
considering that it's May Day, I never understand because shouldn't like May Day be like a term you use when you're like flying a plane and you're about to crash or something?
Well, I mean, I guess, but they never said that the showers were rain. It's entirely possible it could just be like horrifying flaming death of planes coming down instead of rain. Anyway, we started recording.
Oh, okay. Let's. I guess we can. I
What the
guess
fuck
we
is
can
going on?
finally get
What
on.
is going on?
I,
Fuck. What is
I,
this?
I just, you know me, I'll just flip a button and assume you guys can psychically
What
tell
the
when I'm
fuck is
seeing
going
movies.
on?
That's what I do. Anyway,
Scary.
welcome everybody to Subwoofer Entertainment Treehouse. We are a determinedly drunk, geeky, and cheerful podcast. I don't still to never remember to actually pull up the intro, so I'm freestyling this as I go. But welcome for those of you first joining us ever. If there are any of you out there, we have a lot of returning visitors. I see. Set is a lot like a music appreciation class. We just discuss different forms of media and see how each person would react to it in their own individual way, their ideas, blah blah blah. I'm Zach Gray. I've been elected spokesperson. It's somewhere in the fine print of my contract. I never read those things. I totally should. But the person who's indoctrinated me and is the mastermind behind this is,
Hey guys, my name is Scarfy Conley. How's it going?
and also joining us is our music expert, the sound of silence.
I
Music
was a little
expert.
scared for a second because
Oh.
I didn't have the stream muted and I was listening
Oh,
and,
no, no,
and I
no. It
kept
only
hearing it
picks it up.
start over.
It only picks
I
up if
kept
it
hearing
does
it
it on
start
mine.
over and over. I thought that was the
The
intro. And I'm
voices.
like,
The voices.
what is going on?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Help.
So what's so
Oh god.
Cruz, you are the sound of silence.
Apparently. So that's why you're saying what's going on earlier. I thought you were just being like silly. You were honestly like being.
I thought you were too, and I realized it was me.
Fair enough. Okay. Well.
We don't have much on the agendas for today. It's a bit of a mellow agenda today, but thankfully we're gonna have a lot more fun than we usually do.
Mhm.
I wanted to address something right here. Apparently, I got back from Shujja not too long ago, and it happened today. And he said that he wasn't going to be available for the next 2 weeks to come, which includes, I believe, this week and possibly next week when we're supposed to have Renegade Rue on the show. So
Ooh.
it's a very, very unfortunate for us. We were not expecting this to happen, apparently, but unfortunately, when you have college and you're working on projects, what the hell are you gonna do? I mean,
Yep. Yep. How's your college stuff
but
going, by the way, Scarfy? You're busy right
oh,
around this time of
it's
year, aren't you?
believe it or not, it actually started to slow down.
Really?
Like
Wait.
I'm
When's your?
not I'm not even kidding. Like it started off like a lot of work, but now it's like slowing down, and I
Aren't,
don't and I really don't get it.
aren't you on finals week?
Dude, no. I finals week doesn't begin until like June.
Oh, really? Well, I mean, like, we talked about this before, how the difference between East and West Coast. Like, East Coast, we just got done with finals. I always assume you guys were only like a week later, so I thought this was
When
gonna
did
be a
you
finals.
start? When did you start your spring semester?
It starts here in January.
That would be the case then, because we start ours in February because we have winter session in January.
Oh, interesting. Weird. Okay, cool. Today I learned.
But yeah, unfortunately, Shujja's not going to be here, so I won't be able to say, the typical term because since Shujja just so happens to be Vietnamese, I won't be able to say the term "we love him long time" because I would be able to say the term "me so corny."
Oh God. I,
Yeah,
I,
what? Yep,
I like
yep.
that formula of getting away with saying things you know you shouldn't be saying. It's like I wouldn't say this, and then you proceed to say it, and it's like it's that fun trick of now it's forgiven. But by the way, we have a question in chat already. Do you want to save that question for later, or do you want to address it
No,
now?
no, we can answer questions now.
So,
Hey.
Sinbad, I will butcher your last name, my friend. Niver, says, "Hey, do you guys interview furry Let's Players?" Because he's one himself. So that's once again, Scarfy is the mastermind here, and he makes these sort of calls. So that's why I'm addressing it to Scarfy.
I am a huge fan of Let's Players. However, I would have to watch a person's content before I even think about doing an interview.
We'd have to see like as what we'd expect.
Go on Twitter and send Subwuffer the Subwuffer account. You can see it right here on the bottom right of the screen. Send them like a link to whatever videos, and then if we love it, we'll definitely call it. If we don't take it personally. It's just not something we were particularly into, and we don't want to like pull you on and just be like, so we didn't like it because we're butt heads and we just don't like the work you put in. It's nothing personal. It's just one of those things like we don't want to bring people in just to like not say anything properly good about them. So, but
right. By the way, I love Chugga Conroy. I wish I could meet him, but he's probably but because of how popular he is, I don't think I'll ever get to meet him.
Well, you never know. I mean, does he do the PAX meetups and stuff like that?
He actually does. He does it with the Runaway Guys. That includes JonTron. No, not JonTron. Proton John and Nintendo Capri Sun. Not too sure if you ever watched those guys, but yeah, we got those.
Nice. Well, yeah, I was gonna say if you ever make it to a PAX, maybe you could meet him.
Yeah, I'd love to do that very much. So you know what? Why don't we get started with the show?
Sure.
While I'm here quietly seething with resentment for.
You are the sound of silence. So
resentment for what?
Keep going.
You're gonna get an earful of this.
Oh God.
So the first thing, my second favorite but favorite heavy metal band, Five Finger Death Punch. They've been sued by their label Prospect Park because they won't make a money-sucking greatest hits album.
What?
We all know that's what those are for.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is bullshit. And I put this in all caps, bullshit. And the CEO of Prospect Park, who must not be named, has a history of greed and has driven acts like Korn, Backstreet Boys, Smashing Pumpkins, and more away from Prospect Park. So
it's kind of interesting how
this should bite him in the ass.
Right,
hopefully,
at
some point, because
it's kind of interesting how I'm looking at lawsuits. Like, why on earth would they get sued for not making a greatest hits album when there are plenty of other artists out there who just go, man, what the fuck? I'll make a greatest hits album just so I can put my #1 songs on it. Like, that's what I'm trying to understand. And maybe it's because it's more the music than the money possibly. But
I read on Loudwire, they said the CEO said it was because he thought that because Ivan Moody went in rehab under very good conditions. However, he assumed that this meant that the band would fall apart, and so he was trying to squeeze as much money as he could out of it before they fell. And then the argument against them was their only trend is upwards because they've been getting better and better with each album.
Right. So is that like? Do you have any idea? Just looking at the backstory stuff, because stuff like this is usually I'm assuming it's part of their contract. Is it something that's part of their contract, or is he just like saying, "Oh, you should do this because it's what all musicians do," and they're like, "No," and he's like, "Well, you have to do what I tell you because that's in your contract." It's like, dude, fuck you. If we do this, it's like, I mean, you can. I guess technically the label could just grab our songs and put it together. They just don't want to do it. But
yes, Shiny. They did have an amazing cover of House of the Rising Star.
Yes.
They played that over the speakers at the end of the concert I went to. It was beautiful. And they did also do a great cover of A New Level. That was a great one too. I'm not sure about the terms of their contract, but I believe it's like more of leverage, not just like official terms. Like
right.
They have the contract, they have leverage over the band, and so it's a tug of war between.
How is this label still in business if they drove away all these like big names? Like
exactly,
how are they
that's what I'm trying to wonder.
Blacklisted? Do they have them by the balls from like a contract that was before they showed their shitty true colors, or do you have any idea?
I don't think so, but I think that the music video for Jekyll and Hyde was supposedly supposed to be a fuck you to the label because they were like, you see at the beginning, it's like, do we have to be in the video? It's like, well, of course you have to be in the video. And they're like, we're going to blow this one on purpose. So that's why looks like they're just dicking around.
Ah, gotcha.
For the record, Kyle, we're rated PG Wolves, so we don't really give a shit what you say in the chat.
I thought folk was like a PG-13. Whatever. We'll get into. You know a lot about movie ratings. I'll trust your judgment.
Apparently, the rules you can say fuck twice for a PG-13 thing.
What? We have exceeded that shit.
Completely surpassed that limit.
Right.
Beginning.
You get two a show. Bitch, we use 2 like a fucking minute. But sorry.
I hate to. I actually really like Backstreet Boys though.
That's fine.
I used to like them too. Like all these bands are ones that I liked, which gives me even more reason to hate Prospect Park.
And I'm gonna stir a fan base up. Backstreet Boys is better than NSYNC. Just saying.
That's a tough one, but I have to agree with you there.
I mean, they were both like good. They have I could go on about like their stuff and the draw they had and the choreography. Like they did well for what it was. It just wasn't.
I'm surprised they're still singing. That's so awesome that they're still singing.
But admittedly, like Korn, I loved. Smashing Pumpkins, I still love. So it's like Backstreet Boys, I don't hate, but what I like is there's a lot of bands that are covering their music and turning them into like heavy, like what more people consider, like rock music and doing covers of their stuff for. It's like that's kind of cool. I just like when people take something from one genre and completely morph it into something else and it still works. So, but they were good. I mean, I can't badmouth them. They're making more money than I'll ever see they made more money than I'll ever see in my life. So.
All right. Well, all right. That's enough anger and hatred.
Rawr.
Which is something you won't hear from me very much. Now we move on to Vektor, and it is not that Vektor from Sonic. It is Terminal Redo. I'm guessing that's how it is because it's Redux. So they are a progressive thrash metal band, and they're going to be releasing the 3rd studio album named Terminal Redo. It's on May 6th, which is also my sister's birthday, by the way.
Happy birthday to her.
This band blends thrash metal with progressive metal, which obviously stems from progressive rock. And for those who may not be familiar on like what it is, think of like Rush, Pink Floyd, yes, like those are all progressive rock. Anything you think might be like, it's called complex composition, unusual beat patterns, and intricate playing style.
Right.
Like Rush, prime example of that. And so, like I listened to it, they have a lot of interesting, different beat patterns within it. But it's also like hard thrash mixed into that.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's just really cool.
Okay.
It's a band I'm definitely going to get into.
So I had a question about them, but I'm losing it now. So how long has Vektor been like around for? Do you know? 'Cause I'd never heard of them before.
I think I'm not sure how long they've been around, but I know that they had another name, but they changed it, I think, in 2007. And that's when they started actually becoming their band.
Right.
So,
right.
Okay. I mean, I was listening to Charging the Void. I'm like, oh, how long is this song? And I realized it's 9 minutes. I'm like, the way they're playing, I don't think it could be 9 minutes.
You think they just pass out from like heat exhaustion?
Yeah, that's like imagine Lee to Meshuggah. They're going full on hard for like 8 solid minutes. How do you have the stamina? What is wrong with you?
So what just happened there? I need someone in the chat to take the soundbite of exactly a Kruz in there. It's like they went on for 8 straight minutes. How do you have the stamina? And put it to some like very funk, like obviously porno background music to him saying that. Just make this
I knew that was coming.
that circulates.
As soon as I said it, I knew that was gonna happen.
Also, I knew that was coming. That's come afterwards. Sorry, I promise I'm not here to be a dick. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But you're doing a pretty damn good job.
Yeah, I do that. I'm told. Ask Shiny, he knows. Anyway.
All right. All right. Well, I think we'll move away from that. Trying to be careful with what I say now. So now we have Keith Urban, Ripcord. I like the sound of that, but still not a country fan. But country icon Keith Urban also releasing an album May 6th. And he has been, I've noticed, I haven't listened to his music a lot, but I've seen him a lot. And I noticed that he's been one keeping country alive throughout the years, and even being on American Idol.
Now, when you say country, I'm kind of wondering, when you say keeping country alive, which country are we talking here?
The modern country, of course. Like the old country is sadly dead. Like Johnny Cash, that can't come back. But
No.
there's bands like Volbeat. They are like somewhat influenced by them. Like Dragon Force did a cover of Ring of Fire.
Right, because even still, I can only listen to one country song, sadly.
Which is?
The Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Wait, the original, like Blues Traveler or who? Because if you're talking Blues Traveler, it's not really country anymore.
Who did it first?
Charlie Daniels.
Yeah, is that right? No.
I don't know. I don't know who did it first.
And then there was the really cool on Guitar Hero at the end.
Yes, that was awesome. But even Charlie Daniels.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what Shiny confirmed. So yep, that is correct. Yeah, like I listen to a lot, but I live in the southeast. So I live in the northern part of Florida, which is as close to the south as you get in Florida. So like a lot of country stuff still passes by, but yeah, that like original country's gone. It's now like southern rock or shit like that. So, but yeah, Keith Urban, you're right. I totally agree with you, Kruz. He's keeping a lot of the classics, not classic sense of it, but just that style that's still a lot more like pop country, but not so pop country that it's like She Thinks My Tractor's Sexy. That's all that's
shit around these days. It's just
But he's kept it strong. I've heard his music before, and I like it pretty well. Not as well as I like I hate to sound hipster, but like the weird bands I listen to that are not that popular because they're a lot more dirty and gritty and like, they're not what people want to hear about. They don't want to hear about how the South has turned into like a meth capital of the world and here's a story of my friend who died from ODing and, shit like people don't want to hear that. But it's like, yeah, that shit happens. So, but yeah, Keith Urban's a lot more the lighter side of pop country, definitely. As
long as it's not the country where all they're talking about is like church or sex or all that other stuff.
Actually, that's pretty much exactly what it is. Just not the way you think of. It's more like
the country. There's like is it a boy named Sue or something like that's that's like a funny story.
You mean good old fucking Johnny Cash. I love this stuff.
I never listened to Johnny Cash.
Oh, he's so. I mean, like his old stuff you got to get into, but especially the what was it called? The American. The last couple albums he did before he died, where he did a whole bunch of covers and shit. Like when he's older, that was amazing. Kruz, I won't keep you up. I'm gonna look up the name of that and just figure that out.
Yeah, but anyway, what's next on the agenda, Kruz?
Next is something that's also sort of country. Cyndi Lauper, Detour. So she will be releasing an album called Detour, which is, according to her website, going to be in her... Hold on.
Nice.
All right. Will be her interpretation of various country classics. And I didn't catch any names from the songs, but I'm guessing it's going to be a cover album. And for those of you who are, including me, I guess didn't recognize who she was, you will know her from the song Girls Just Want to Have Fun. And I think the theme for the Goonies, which...
really?
Did she write it?
Yeah, that's
or
true.
Did she just sing it?
It is true.
But do you know about Scarfy? Did she write it or sing it?
She wrote it.
She wrote it?
And,
cool.
she sang it.
Very nice.
Yes, indeed.
Did not know.
You didn't know, huh?
Nope. That one caught
me. You didn't know.
I remember my elementary school teacher listening to Cyndi Lauper all the time, and I had no idea that was Cyndi Lauper in the Goonies. That was really awesome. But I got anyways. I'm just kind of waiting for the next thing on the agenda because it involves me.
Excited,
but
excited.
But
let me post her her album really quick, just the name of it and stuff, and then go right ahead.
But you know, I'm just. What do you think of Cyndi Lauper Detour, Zach?
I mean, like, I'm not a huge fan of her music, not in the sense that I think it's bad. I just don't listen to her regularly. So I'd give it a shot, but I mean, if it's anything like fucking Avril Lavigne's most recent shit, then I'd rather not, because she took a fucking turn. But no, I mean, like, I'd give it a shot, but I haven't kept up with her. So
Of course.
I'm indiscriminate at this point. The boring gray word that they don't want you to use on shows like this, but I just don't know enough about the girl right now, so.
Yep.
Discriminated. I don't want to give a fuck.
Basically.
So,
Are you talking in an Irish accent?
I wasn't really trying to, but I might now.
The whole thing. I've got whiskey here. It's Kentucky whiskey, but if I drink enough, I can get an Irish accent. It'll just be very slurred.
You can get an accent going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it. Okay. All right. Let's move on to Scarfy.
This is Scarfy's favorite.
Yes.
Da 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 da.
No, come on.
All right. Da 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 da.
Come on.
Kingdom Hearts.
And then the bass drop.
The Kingdom
Sorry.
Hearts.
Okay,
Good job. 10 out of 10 will drop again. Kingdom Hearts Orchestra. Their world tour. Fairly early announcement, but the Kingdom Hearts Orchestra will begin their world tour in Tokyo, Japan, March 10th, 2017. Yes, that is next year. They will hit the US on the West Coast in LA on June 10th and 14th. I'm guessing those are separate shows. And in New York on the June 24th. So this will give fans pretty decent amount of time to get their tickets. The concert will feature, more according to IGN, will feature more than 70 musicians on stage with on-screen video cinematics by the game director, which I forgot their name.
Yoko Shimomura. No, Tetsuya Nomura.
Well, there you go again. Thank you.
By the description, by the description of it, this sounds like a pretty epic, once-in-a-lifetime experience for any diehard Kingdom Hearts fan, like, as I mentioned, my sister, and obviously Scarfy.
Yep.
By the way, did you put the link I sent you from Telegram so that people can look at it themselves? Could you please do that?
Oh, I didn't do that. Sorry.
Oh no. It's not your fault. I sent it to Zach.
Yeah.
I should have sent you the link. But anyway, I am really excited for this orchestra. I immediately contacted my friends to see if we can go see it. The only thing that I'm very kind of saddened by is the fact that it's only going to take place in LA and New York. So here's hoping that they'll open more. I know.
They're not. I don't think they're going to be able to make
How far
many
is it
stops.
for you from to LA?
It's not even. Well, let me finish. Like, I want to go see it from LA, but at the same time, I feel sorry for all those people who can't go to LA or New York to go see it, because those are the only places that they're going to be. But despite that, if there are that many fans who are hyped up about it, I wouldn't be surprised if that particular orchestra will be playing in other places as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think it's because they announced it so early that more people have time to plan if they have to make a trip to like LA or New York.
Right.
But I'm also thinking maybe they should have hit at least maybe one or two more places. Like you could hit like somewhere, I'm just throwing it out there, in the Midwest, and then somewhere down southeast.
And let me tell you, Yoko Shimomura is one of the greatest Japanese composers who ever lived. I really want to meet her. She's the great grandmother of video game music, just like how, well, Nobuo Uematsu is the great granddaddy of video game music, in my opinion. But yeah, I've never been this excited. All I can say is that I'm hoping to God that I can get a ticket. I'm pretty sure it's going to be hella expensive, even though, well, actually, you know what? I don't think it'll be that expensive, considering the fact that I think the ticket that we got, I actually went to 2 video game concerts. One was Video Games Live, and the other was the Zelda Symphony concert. So, as you can tell, like, I'm trying to wonder if I'm trying to wonder how much the price of this will be, because I'm kind of guessing like depending on which seat you get, that will be the amount of money that you'll have to pay. But
Well, yeah,
hopefully
I
it won't
mean,
be.
that's how that always works. But it
Yeah.
seems like it'll be just because they're coming from Japan. They're only doing a few, like very few shows. I mean,
That's not what I heard. I actually heard that they're getting other orchestras to practice so that they don't have to
Oh,
take
Yeah.
an entire orchestra with their instruments and
Yeah.
fly all the way
The
over to.
travel that makes sense.
that
The
makes
Yeah.
much more sense. Okay, then yeah, probably
yeah.
it might not be too bad then.
Travel would
No, probably not. But even still, I don't know about you guys, but when you're conducting an orchestra, people who are in an orchestra, they don't play around. That's all
Oh
I can
no,
tell you.
I'm well aware.
Yeah, they work their ass off.
Back when I played with a band in town, we had one person who was a professional, like properly trained, like professional violinist, and went to music school for it and everything. And he's great, but that was one thing. Like he was the rest of us were just like homegrown garage bandy sort of people that learned from our fathers or taught ourselves how to play and like don't know more beyond tabs. We don't even know sheet music well. And he was like a no nonsense guy, so it was always very interesting seeing the I guess almost like a cultural difference almost of like how we approach music. Like he needed to be laid out for these have to be the reasons you chose to do this, and our reason of because it sounds good together was never enough. So,
Right,
yeah.
it's part of the reason why they got the London Symphony Orchestra to work for their show in London. So that'll be interesting. But even still, I have never been this excited at all. So
Well,
this is.
hope you get it. Hope you definitely see it, and I'm sure you'll have a blast when you do.
Mm-hmm.
Are we moving on to that bit, or is there something else we wanted to touch on?
Uh-oh. Apparently Kruz had left the chat.
Hey.
Uh-oh.
All right. Well.
Well, I guess it's a good. Well, I guess it's a good as transition to. Oh, his ping is skyrocketing. That is not a good.
Andy's back.
Are you there, Kruz? Well, even still, I guess this is as good as time as any to go ahead and switch it over to video games.
Yeah, sure. All right. So that being said, the first game I want to talk to you all about is a game that I'm actually think is pretty cool coming up. For the people who brought you the Borderlands games, for anybody who played those, Gearbox Software and 2K Games are embarking on a new adventure with their upcoming release title, Battleborn. In this game, you have an unlikely group of heroes from multiple factions that come together to protect the universe's very last star from being darkened. I use air quotes for that, which from what I can tell, the word darkened basically means that bad things, bad things obviously, tripped over my words, but it basically means bad things for the rest of the solar system that revolve around it. I can't tell if like the stars are being stolen or the power is, or if they're being exploded, if it's like a supernova, one or the other. That's basically it's shit luck for its solar system. So from what I've seen so far of the game, it looks nerdgasmically amazing. And by this, I mean you're choosing from 25 playable characters, each with their own unique abilities and weapons and their own personalities and backstory. You can play alone or with friends, play online or split screen. You can even do competitive multiplayer modes with one against each other for teams going up to 5v5. So, there's the big element for, the gamers right there, already all this weird stuff. But the look of the game is the coolest part because it looks straight out of a comic book when you look at the visuals and like how the characters act and everything. Any of you who knew about Overwatch, which was Microsoft's response to Team Fortress 2 that came out a little while ago, it seems tantamount to that in very many ways. It looks really cool. I wouldn't say they're the same game by any means. It's just sort of a Borderlands version of either of those sort of like team building games. The characters in the game are incredibly stylized. I said, look like they're straight out of a comic book. No two are alike. This comes to their skills, personality, everything. And this plus the fact that leveling up in the game isn't done by your overall player level. You have to level up each character individually and build up their skills and increase their gear and all that. It ensures for hours of gameplay. I'm hoping each character has their own unique story, but maybe that's asking too much. Once again, you can play them through story mode, multiplayer, all that. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun and probably eat up a lot of your guys' time and lives with this. It looks like something you're just going to get sucked into if it plays as well as it looks. It comes out for Xbox One, PS4, and PC on May 3rd.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I was looking at this game, and it looked exactly like it looked very magical. I don't know why. I was getting that sort of magical vibe from it, and I felt like, isn't this interesting? I'm sorry to interrupt. Sure. I'm sorry to break off of the subject, but unfortunately, Kruz is not able to connect to our show. So I'm very, very concerned.
I'd love to have him back, but this is part of the reason. We've had this issue once before, and...
Hello? Wait, what did you say?
I said
you'd love to have him back in what?
I'd love to have him back, but at the same time, we've had this issue before, so he's fortunately been able to cover all the stuff that he was able to. I hope he comes back, but at the same time, if nothing else, you and I will shoot the shit for a bit. It was going to be a small one. It's going to be cozy, so if you're in the chat, feel free to talk with us. It could be a nice little campfire-like thing. But yeah, what I was just going to say, you're all right about the fantasy look. I should have mentioned that. It looks, between the worlds you're jumping through, there's steampunk elements, fantasy, medieval, elven, mystical, to just plain grunt battle soldiers. Like I said, when I talk about varied characters of 25, I mean everything. Even vampire ninja characters. I'm not even shitting you. It's so bizarre but kind of cool. It looks like it's catered to all the different sort of preferences via gameplay and just character design you might want. So I think it'll do very well as long as the gameplay stacks up.
That makes sense. I was looking at it and I was just like, oh, this looks interesting. I'm kind of wondering if the people who made Team Fortress 2 is going to make a lot of money from this game.
Well, I'll be watching. If Kruz can't get on, he's joined us in the chat with all the rest. So Kruz, feel free to keep entertaining and trying to jump back on. If you have things you want to say, go ahead and say them in the chat, and I'll see what I can be your loudspeaker for in the rest of the show. Love you, man.
Yeah, we love you, Kruz. I don't know why this is happening. The beauty of college Wi-Fi. Yeah, that's all I can say.
Yep. All right, well, moving on from that, do you have more you want to say about it?
Do I have more to say about it?
If not, it's totally cool. I'm fine with moving on to the next couple. Like you said, it's going to be a little bit more snuggly of a show, so I'm just...
It's gonna be very, very mellow today, but yeah, so you can just go to the next one.
Anyway, the next one we have up is a game that also looks really fun. It's a different type of energy and excitement if the last one isn't really your thing. It's called Tabletop Racing World Tour. It's developed by Playwrights Edge, and it's published by Ripstone. The game is very high energy and wild fun, as well as it is absolutely silly and ridiculous. The game has you racing Matchbox-style mini cars around different tabletops throughout, I guess, the world. The tabletops are cluttered with... Huh?
I'm sorry, I'm getting more of a Hot Wheels vibe from this one.
Yeah, that's what I meant by Matchbox cars, little Hot Wheels and stuff. You're racing around, and sort of like when you're a kid, you'd make up little obstacles because if you couldn't buy a Hot Wheels track or something, you have to swerve in and out between stacked dominoes and avoid erasers and avoid cereal boxes and bowls and build ramps with pieces of cardboard, and you got to fly through. It's silly, but at the same time, the graphics of it are actually beautiful. And one thing that might give you a little feel for... I don't like to compare things to this because, of course, this is one of the holy mecca of racing combat games, but has a little bit of that Mario Kart vibe because you pick up power-ups and stuff to both screw other players over or the AI over and try to better position yourself, or you could get hit by them and it screws you over. The game has a story mode. They call it a championship mode for single player. And there's also multiplayer races for up to 8 people. There are over 20 tracks, 12 customizable cars, 6 different gameplay modes. And honestly, if you're just a fan of these wacky races types of games with some stellar graphics, it's coming out May 3rd. It's for the PS4, so sorry to any PC-only Master Race people who are looking into this, but it's...
I have a PS4, but I don't even think I'm going to buy this game.
Really not your thing?
No, you gotta know me. I like video games, but I like video games where I'm all of these gun games just feel samey to me, and I don't know why that is. I mean,
it's not necessarily a gun game. It's just closer to like Mario Kart almost. It's not like Twisted Metal. You don't have like fucking Holman rockets.
Well, no, but even still, like I don't really like Mario Kart. I kind of like
really?
Diddy Kong
I didn't
Racing.
know that.
No, I kind of like Diddy Kong Racing over Mario Kart because Mario Kart is just the same old shtick every single race. Like that's how I feel. There's like, it's just the same old game in a fresh coat of paint with every system. In my opinion,
cool. I've never heard you like, not that you're saying, oh, it's terrible and bad and Nintendo should feel bad, but I've never heard you speak ill of anything Nintendo before. So this is kind of cool for me.
It's not that it's bad. It's just like if I had to choose between Mario Kart and a different game, chances are I'm going to choose a different game. I don't really like Mario Kart is just racing and that's it. There really is nothing else it has to offer. I think that for people who like Mario Kart, good for you. Personally, I think it's just a way for Nintendo to cash in the money just by adding Mario characters, racing, and in a fresh coat of paint with every system they make. That's pretty much how I feel. But
No, that's fair. That's I mean, like, you're not necessarily wrong. It's part of what I enjoyed about it is not the sameness, but just the fact of the matter. It's like it's that formula, and it's formula that tends to work, but obviously it doesn't work for everybody. Case in point, you're not a big fan of it.
Of course. No. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. We can make it if we try.
That's what we're doing. So
yes.
Okay, so that's not your speed. I'm cool with that. Then let's try this. This next game. So moving into a more casual sort of gaming style, the indie developer SassyBot has self-published their new game called Fragments of Him. And this game, I think, is honestly really cool.
Oh my gosh! I was looking at the trailer. It looks, very beautiful. Like I feel like the story is going to be like the biggest point of the game. But anyway, go on.
Oh no, you're absolutely right. It's a very story-driven game. It's a lot more somber of a title. It follows the more cinematic approach to gaming. You get from stuff like heavy. Like I always go back to Heavy Rain because one of the first ones I ever saw. But stuff like that. The game follows the life of a young man named Will who has recently died, and his loved ones are left to grieve and try to move on. It's a really interesting experience that explores the inner thoughts of loved ones as they reminisce on moments they've shared with the recently deceased in their life, as well as just the ways they try to cope and also just try to relive and hold on to the past, that whole sort of like painful separation and grieving moment. But it also follows the last moments and memories of Will before the accident that he was involved in that ended his life. So it places you into his mind and their minds and just different scenes. So you hear their inner monologues, their inner thoughts, as well as see their interactions before the accident. The loved ones you follow in particular are his grandmother, his ex-girlfriend Sarah, and his boyfriend before he died in the accident named Harry. So it's kind of cool. Just it sounds like just from that, it's like this is a very interesting progression, but also it's a really cool idea to use storytelling and tackle this sort of all of these subjects at once. Like it's like I'm pretty sure the whole sexuality thing is going to be something that's addressed in there. So it's like it's cool they're putting that into that, but also have the bigger issue of the guy died. So I like to see how they're going to explore that. Like you mentioned, it looks beautiful. It's very fantasy, dreamlike. And it comes out May 3rd for the PC. But what else? What do you think about it? Like, this is one of the first time I think that you meant that I've put up a game that I heard positive feedback about the cinematics that you liked. So, what were your thoughts on this, Scarfy?
Well, I was looking at it and I thought it was pretty cool. Like, I just thought, I liked how the story was going, but I feel as if when it comes to this game, I feel as if okay, we're obviously going to get a story that we've never heard before, but the fact that it's also tackling, a different sexuality aspect of the game is also interesting because you don't see that a lot in video games.
No, you don't.
Personally, I don't really care, but even still, it's just, it is what it is.
Yeah. Okay. So beyond that... Oh, go ahead.
But yeah, I'm definitely interested to see what it's like. I mean, like, I want to see if I could watch a Let's Play of it. I'll definitely watch it. But like, I feel like I've seen a video game with feels like this before for whatever reason.
Oh, I mean, like I said, there's been cinematic storytelling games with like heavier elements like this before. Yes, it's not this exact story. And it's, like I said, it's very story driven, so it seems cool. I might honestly, I don't know if I'll do a Let's Play or everything like that, but I might get it and just play it just for the hell of it. So if nothing else, I'll let you know from what I experienced. But I'm sure someone will do a no talk, just run through of it if you want to watch it that way. But I plan on supporting this because A, it's an indie developer, B, they made something cool and unique, and I don't see that enough. So
yeah. By the way, I just want to let you know, if my mic cuts out during while I'm talking, please let me know so that I can repeat what I'm saying.
Sure. Yeah, it hasn't been doing that so far that I've noticed, at least.
Just making sure.
Yep. Okay. So after that, the next game I found, continuing with the tone of the somber games. This is more of a throwback to the retro graphic style of games. It's made by Clifftop Games, and they've released it through the publisher Raw Fury. I had to practice many times and I accidentally say Raw Furry, which is a very different connotation now that I think about it. But the game is called Kathy Rain, A Detective is Born. The game is set in the 1990s, which is part of the reason for the retro graphic style they chose. The graphics look like they're straight out of the Super Nintendo system. You play as Kathy Rain, surprise, surprise, whose grandfather Joseph has recently passed away. And you return to your hometown on your Harley because, you aren't a badass independent college girl in the 90s if you don't have a Harley. This is law. It was a law they passed back then. I think
Really? It was a 90s law.
I'm making shit up. But she goes back to pay her respects and happens to stumble on a mystery in the town regarding her grandfather's condition before he passed away. Something happened to him that put him in like a wheelchair, made him kind of just unresponsive, along with a number of other strange events. Like I believe there's the death of an artist and some other stuff. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but just a bunch of weird shit's happening across town. And I'm usually not a big fan of detective games. I won't lie. I think they're cool, but I just don't really get immersed in them. But for people who do, I just want to bring this up. It comes out May 5th, PC and Mac. If you want your 90s nostalgia, indie games, that's probably not going to be terribly expensive. So I'd say give it a shot if you think it looks cool.
Did you put the link on the chat? No, it doesn't look like you did.
I did, and it didn't. When I pushed enter, it didn't go. So there we go. Now it's on the chat.
I was looking at this game, and I loved how they had pop cultural references on the TV. That was a lot of fun.
Yes, that was actually really good. I forgot to mention.
And I kind of wonder how like this particular game is going to look like. So thankfully we'll get to know ASAP. But at the same time, it's like. It looks interesting to me. I'm not too sure if I would get this game, but I don't know. Looks interesting. I mean, but if you want a 90s nostalgia throwback, I would still recommend you play Earthbound, Zach. You can play it on an emulator with Shiny. It's like that's really all I can say. I don't really care about the whole, I'm not gonna play an emulated game because I don't own the game myself. I'm like, dude,
no, I don't care about
it.
that either. But my main thing is just finding the time to do it. And when you it's possible, but at the same time, I know no offense to the game, I just don't have a lot of interest in it. I know I've heard about it, I hear it's really good, but it's just it's not. There's been nothing that has made me think, I really want to play this. Even though people say, but it's so good. And it's like, well, yeah, that's great. But
wait until the documentary Earthbound USA comes out, and then I'll show you the documentary, and then you can judge from there, okay?
Yeah, I'm down for that.
All right, yeah. But anyway, Kathy Rain looks really nice, so I'm not too sure if I'd buy it personally.
I agree. It's not really my taste, but shit, I mean, it looks good. It just doesn't look like my thing.
Right. Anyway.
And very last is actually something Scarfy brought to my attention, which is really cool. So I'll say my little blurb, and then we'll talk. And I feel like he'll probably dominate this, which I'm totally cool with because he probably has a lot more research done than what I've got so far. Just an upcoming announcement: the Nintendo. There's a global release of the new Nintendo console that's currently codenamed NX. I believe it's set to be released in March of 2017. It will not be demoed this year at E3, which is unfortunate, but the release of the system also affects the release of a very desired game, which is the next game in the Zelda series, which is scheduled to come out preferably, a lot of people are hoping by about the Christmas season, but it looks like it's not coming out then.
You'd be surprised. At first, Zelda was going to be released on March 2017, but then Nintendo had to take the date off because, again, and they said that they also said that this Zelda game will also be on the Wii U as well as the NX. So, as you can tell, a lot of people are not really happy about this because, they thought that the NX and The Legend of Zelda would be like the two main things that people would expect at E3. Personally, when it comes to me, I still have my Wii U and I'm perfectly happy with that. And I don't understand why people are so angry. I guess, people are tired of their Wii U. Personally, I only got my Wii U like 2 years ago, so I don't understand why people are so angry about this when I've only gotten my Wii U 2 years ago and there's still plenty of cool games that you guys probably haven't even played yet, and you're just, already thinking about shelling out a couple $100 for the new system. Which,
Right.
Which I am going to get. I will get the NX ASAP, but at the same time, it's like, guys, it's not like Nintendo isn't going to showcase anything. They're just not going to showcase these two games that you are going to see.
Well, yeah, but that's usual interaction with fans. When fans really, really want something and then they're sort of cock teased about it, they usually rage. I mean, it's what they do. They get pissed that they're not getting the treat they want. And it's not like necessarily like all bad on them, because if you don't complain and fight for something and don't show your interest, then it's not going to get done. It's not going to get made. Especially that sort of fan feedback is something Nintendo probably wants. They want that sort of like, we're angry at you, but we're still going to buy it because they're still going to shell out the money.
Right. And the funny Nintendo, you love them and hate them at the same time. But even still, like, people are like, there's been a theory going on, like, like, wouldn't it be cool if Nintendo actually competed again? Kruz, we can hear you, but
black.
Yeah. Welcome back, my brother.
Back from the dead.
So have you?
Sorry,
A land of horrible, cancerous ping and sadness.
Did you hear the codename NX stuff, the Nintendo stuff we were talking about?
Oh yeah, I saw something about it. I don't know what it is, but
you don't know what Nintendo NX is?
well, they said it wasn't going to be announced at E3, and then it's like it didn't really give much detail.
Oh, Nintendo NX is their new Nintendo console that they're going to release. Because
well, I know that, but I didn't know like what it's like looked like.
Well, no one does yet. Yeah, it's the thing. That's what people are kind of pissed about. They're not going to demo it at E3 at all, so we're kind of left in the dark about what this next generation. Cause I know they've done a lot of hardware updates to this. Like, it's not sort of like how when the GameCube, when the original Wii came out, it was sort of just the GameCube with the new fucking chassis and slightly more memory.
Right.
But yeah, so we don't know.
Right. So back to my original conversation.
Yeah, sorry.
A lot of people are having theories and rumors about, like, wouldn't it be cool if Nintendo actually competed again? With their Nintendo 64 versus the PlayStation 1. Like, those were the good days.
Right.
Like, wouldn't it be great if Nintendo NX actually competed with PS4 and Xbox One?
Oh, you mean as a major, platformer. It's interesting because at the same time, a lot of people say it'd be cool to do that. It's like we wish that Nintendo did these games that were more of what PS4 and Xbox does, but Nintendo sits in a really comfortable niche market that happens to also not really be niche because it's applicable to a lot of people, but they usually release different styles of games, which is why last week when we mentioned that one team fighting game, which you found it as free, right? Do you remember the title of it? Because I'm drawing a blank.
Lost Reavers,
Lost Reavers, yeah. It's like, I was surprised because that didn't seem like Nintendo's usual shtick these days. Like, that wasn't their sort of game. That was more of a PlayStation sort of game or Xbox. And then they moved into saying, it's like, we're not just doing a game like they do it. We did it presumably better and with online multiplayer, which is something these games usually never have. So it seems like they might be stepping foot into this arena, but they still have this comfortable, hey, this is where people go to get their fix of these games that you fuckers, the fuckers being PS4 and Microsoft, because their stuff transfers to PC a lot.
I know, because it really bothers me nowadays that like Nintendo has become irrelevant when it comes to console wars.
Well,
like,
yeah, but I mean, it's annoying
They're
a little bit,
but not like
don't get me wrong. Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of it has to do with Satoru Iwata, and you know, like he was always in it, you know, to make money, and you know, like, and then he passed away, and then a new president had to step in, and now it's like, okay, now we're in a different direction, and like we're wondering, are they going to do the same thing that Satoru Iwata is doing, or are they going to make a console where Nintendo is actually going to compete again?
But actually, Kruz, if you had something, you go first, and then I'll say my piece.
I mean, I think like I don't know, Nintendo kind of seemed to do things right ahead of their time, because they're like especially like Super Smash Bros. People are still playing tournaments of that game.
Yes,
that game is still alive and well. Like you haven't. I don't think you can say that for anything else, any other console.
Yeah, and the other thing that I see a lot is the fact that, you know, like they're not part of the console war things. They actually sort of like fucking made their own little kingdom in something else, and now they're stepping back out of it into the fray. But it's kind of cool because when they fell out of the console wars, it's not the same way when Sega did originally. Now Sega isn't making, you know, consoles anymore because they were fucking done. They didn't have anything that could stack up. They didn't have people that were buying enough of their shit, and they just fell. And now they basically merged with Nintendo, or got eaten up like by the giant amorphous glob that Nintendo is and sucks up what it can. But you know, Nintendo on their hands, like, no, you know, we're not. It's not that we can't compete. We just already have a working formula, and we're too good for this. Like, we don't need to fight with you fuckers. We have our dedicated fan base.
We're still making money from our old stuff.
Yeah.
Right. But even still, like, again, wouldn't it be great if Nintendo actually competed?
That would also be.
I think it would be good. And I think they will. Like, honestly, I think it's not an if. I think it's a when now. By this point, I think they're moving back into that to just be like, hey, we're gonna take the more serious tone games back into, and that might, like,
because we will be doing an E3 show, and that'll just be about E3.
Right.
Technically, yeah. So that'll be a lot of fun. But even still, like, you know. But yeah, like, personally, I don't understand why people are so angry about Nintendo. Like, everyone is like saying, "Oh, Nintendo's not going to have anything at their E3 show. This is the worst thing to happen." I'm like, guys, it's E3. They have to bring something new to the table. Right. It may not be what you wanted, but it's going to be something new to the table.
Right.
They're not just not going to show up.
Yeah.
That would be. I'm sorry if they did. That'd be kind of hilarious. No, we were busy. You're too busy.
We're too good for
E3.
No. Don't get me wrong. There was a show where they didn't have an E3 conference, but they did have an E3 digital event, and that was still better than nothing. But even still, but yeah, that's really all I can think of for Nintendo NX.
I'm good. I got nothing more to add. Do we lose Kruz, or is silence his way? Okay, so your silence was, yeah, I'm also good. Got it.
Are you gonna transition or what?
Well, I mean, I can. Last time I do.
Please, can you please transition?
Okay, well, I mean, last time I said, oh, I guess this is Scarfy with movies. You got like all pissy at me for not letting you do your transition. So
could you say that? Could you say that again? I didn't hear it. And
yeah, it's like the last time I was gonna say, it's like, well, but you know what? No, I'll soap opera this and talk about like we're an MTV fucking reality special. Last time I said, oh well, Scarfy, do you want to go into movies? You got all fucking like upfronted by the fact that I didn't let you transition yourself. So you're gonna have to take a pick on these with me, buddy. You're gonna have to meet me halfway. Do you want me to introduce you into these from now on, or do you want to take the lead from there? Because I can't read your mind.
I want you to introduce.
There we go. All right, so we're gonna hand it over to Scarfy with movies.
Okay. Let's talk about movies. Not a lot of movies coming out this next week. Team
Iron Man.
Shiny one.
Yup.
Oh, shiny.
Transition. Yeah, we can see if we can pay royalties to Pepper Coyote and get his transition device.
Not a lot of movies coming out next weekend, only one. But to be honest, I don't think you guys are honestly going to care all that much to hear what isn't going to come out over what is coming out. Well, looks like it's finally time for comic book nerds and superhero aficionados to finally fangasm over the hype that is Captain America Civil War, the 13th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe directed by Anthony and Joe Russo, directors of The Winter Soldier and soon directors of The Infinity War, with the screenplay by Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, writers of the Narnia films, Thor, The Dark World, and Captain America. And it features Chris Evans leading an ensemble cast that includes Robert Downey Jr., Scarlett Johansson, Sebastian Stan, Anthony Mackie, Don Cheadle, Jeremy Renner, Chadwick Boseman, Paul Bettany, Elizabeth Olsen, Paul Rudd, Emily Van Camp, Tom Holland, Frank Grillo, William Hurt, and Daniel Brühl.
In that order.
After another incident involving the Avengers results in collateral damage, political pressure mounts to install a system of accountability, headed by the governing body to oversee and direct the team. The new status quo fractures the Avengers, resulting in two camps, one led by Steve Rogers and his desire for the Avengers to remain free to defend humanity without government interference, and the other following Tony Stark's surprising decision to support government oversight and accountability. Personally, upon looking at this film, I feel as if the plot synopsis itself is just a way to keep Marvel fans happy for its next films to come. In this case, I feel this movie is just a staller film until the next film in the franchise is available. Like, I don't know about you guys, but that's how I feel.
I would agree with you, but
it does kind of look like a staller film.
It's a bigger plot a staller film would originally. Just in my mind.
I mean, that's true. Also, in that same sense, like, yeah, I guess it could be, but I had more of that feeling from fucking, the Batman vs Superman movie than I did with this. Not that I'm saying that one was bad. I just felt like that one, it sort of came out of nowhere and seemed to be a response to this and just be like, hey, we're here too. But whether it was good, I haven't seen it. I heard a lot of people say, hey, it was actually pretty good. But with this one, they've been talking this up for a while, and it seems like I will agree if you're saying they want to keep the fans' interests and keep the spirit alive and everything, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, honestly,
no, of
whatever
course
you
not.
do in media...
In fact, I was going to get to that point.
Okay, go for it. Sorry.
Sorry if you guys are hearing that beeping noise. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, anyway, it stopped.
Go ahead.
All right. However, on the plus side, I think it's about high time that Marvel is giving its fan servicey fans exactly what they want. Seeing Captain America and Iron Man duke it out with each other, while other people on their side fights with each other as well. Nothing more, nothing less. Even though I'm pretty sure that there is in fact a comic book about this. Sure, there is a plot amongst all the fighting, but the idea of superhero being the bad guys is nothing special. We've seen and heard it before, but in all seriousness, I do want to see the film for its story, visual, and actions, while of course paying attention to all those fans hypnotized by their own adrenaline. Probably not realizing that this film is mayhaps just a way to squeeze money out of you because, well, they're Marvel and then they have to stall. But seriously, I'm sure that this is one that has piqued your interest very much, and the film will be released to give you exactly what you want on May 6, 2016.
Fair enough. Kruz, you want to go first?
I just want to show my support for Team Iron Man because I'm an Iron Man fan through and through. Multiple reasons, because 1, he's a badass, 2, Black Sabbath, and 3, just because Tony Stark is the ultimate smartass.
I don't know. Better.
Who? I lost.
I kind of like Deadpool.
I don't
know. I kind of like Deadpool better. But...
Gotcha.
I mean, well, Deadpool is like outright. I mean, Tony Stark is smartest in response to other people.
He also doesn't break the fourth wall, which is like not that that's. I don't have a problem with that, but that is a huge difference of scopes with the types of like smartassery, witty shit. Like when you're allowed to break the fourth wall, it's like you have cheats on. It's like it's fucking done. But actually, I wanted to like address a few things you mentioned. If it's coming, I thought it did, but I don't know comic books well enough, and I don't know the series on it. I was like, but I could have if it's coming from a comic book, like you said, like this is a story arc, then
Well, no. I didn't say it was coming from a comic book. I'm just saying it. I'm just saying because how superhero movies are made, I'm pretty sure there is a comic book about this particular story.
I did hear. I think it is based off
yeah,
of,
and if that's the case, then that's all the more reason for them to do it. It's
No. If it's based off a comic book and the people wrote it and it was actually pretty good, who am I to judge? But at the same time, from a film buff standpoint, it kind of seems like it's just a way for Marvel to stall until their next movies are coming out.
Right.
But not that it's a problem.
Okay, I was gonna say.
I mean, because I want to see it. Because I want to see the movie too. But you know.
Fair enough. But yeah, like that was my main thing. So if it's coming from the magazine, then it's really doing right by the fans. And if it's squeezing money off them, it's like that's a weird thing that a lot of people's like, oh, it's just a way to make money. It's like you put fucking shit tons of money into making these things. Like they didn't just a director didn't just like. Even though some of the videos look like someone just shit it out, but even still, even the shittiest ones, like they didn't just shit it out one day. It's like it took money, planning, and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, they want to make money because they don't want it to be a flop. But it looks, it looks interesting.
Hopefully it'll be a better film than say, oh, I don't know, Batman versus Superman.
Again, I haven't seen it. I can't catch judgment, but I do agree in the sense of I thought that movie, from what it looked like, they were just trying to release it before and as quickly around the time as Civil War before it happened, so they can.
You have no idea. You have no idea. Zootopia still is the #1 highest grossing film of this year, with Batman vs Superman being $50 million behind it.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, how the fuck did we get to Zootopia? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, well. In other news, Zootopia will be getting a DVD release on June 7th. So, yeah, you can be excited, right?
Nice, yeah.
I'm gonna let everyone know. I'm going to get the actual. I am going to get the
Ultimate Super Deluxe
release
edition.
Yeah, I want the Ultimate Deluxe edition so I can watch the special features and behind the scenes to see how they made the film. I don't know about you, but
yeah, I mean, like I might get the DVD eventually, but I'm not jumping for the deluxe version for myself. I don't know if Shiny is.
Oh, me and Kruz are getting it. No, hands down.
Yeah, I want it for the. I mean, I might as well. Because...
Right. I mean, if you're gonna get it, you might as well sin all the way and get as much as you can. Yeah. But I don't know. Like I've obviously I'm not as much of a movie buff, and while I do enjoy it, it's like I will get it when I feel like it. There'll just be a time where it's like I feel like buying this, and I will. But
well, to be honest, it's basically Zootopia Ultimate Collector's Edition is to Fantastic Mr. Fox Criterion Collection. Which I'm not even sure if you heard of Criterion Collection, but they're awesome, and you should totally buy any of their DVDs if they interest you.
Fair enough.
But anyway, I guess we can move on to our upcoming films.
Sure, sounds good.
Our first upcoming film is a film that we've talked about in a previous episode called Kubo and the Two Strings. After seeing this trailer, I'm even more enticed to see what Laika has to offer because they made films such as Coraline, Paranorman, and The Box Trolls. So this will be interesting.
I knew I recognized the animation.
Wait, what? What was that, Kruz?
I said I knew I recognized the animation. The sort of papery kind of animation.
Yeah. God, I loved. Sorry, Box Trolls. I honestly really fucking loved. It was such a great little movie. But anyway,
you should watch Coraline. I'm not sure if you saw that one.
I saw bits and pieces. I read the book. I haven't seen the movie. I'd love to see the movie. I just never got around to it. But
I'll buy it for you.
Nah, I'll get it. I'll get around to it. I think I have. Isn't it on Netflix?
No.
No, it's not. It was once. No. I'll check around.
Zach, you gotta understand, like Netflix only carries so many movies at a time.
I'm here. That's why I was asking if it was on or not. Instead of just assuming that it's definitely on. And 1 second, and stop. But anyway, yeah, Cuba. I thought didn't we talk about this a while ago at one point?
We talked about it very briefly on our very first episode, I believe. Yeah, but
it looks really cool. Like I like that they're using the Beatles as my guitar gently weeps in an Asian like instrumental version of it, which is a great song for it because of the character's powers and everything.
Wait, you mean the Beatles as in the The band, the Beatles?
Yes, yeah. They have a song called "Wow." Is it? Do you know, Kruz? Is it "As My Guitar" or "While My Guitar Gently"? Chat. What's the name? I know something. My guitar gently weeps. I can't remember the verb.
Now, as soon as you asked me, I immediately. Up until then, I knew the answer.
And not verb, but the word I can't remember. But if you listen closely, the background orchestra playing it with Eastern instruments, like that is a song. That's what they're playing. It's like, oh, that's really fucking cool.
That's interesting, and I really want to see it because I'm a huge fan of Japanese culture. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm like, I guess you can say this is pretty cool that I get to see this. But anyway, I guess we can move on. What do you think about Kubo and the Two Strings, Kruz?
I mean, I also saw bits and pieces of Coraline, and I find I don't know, I like those old kind of Tim Burton-y animation films, and I think this one is like, I guess like I'm really a fan of like adventure-oriented movies. Like it's not just in one place; they're constantly.
Of course.
Moving.
Right.
Yes. This one really interested me. Out of all of them, I think was my favorite.
Yeah.
Out of all the upcoming ones, that is.
Out of all of these ones, there's actually one other one that I was interested in seeing. But anyway, we can move on to our next upcoming film.
Sure.
Our next upcoming film is Cell. It's based off the Stephen King novel about apparently people turning into zombies when they use their cell phones. I'm not even kidding, people. That is the entire plot of the movie. And honestly, aren't we already zombies using our cell phones already?
Yeah, especially those dickheads with the Bluetooth thing in their ears. It's
Are you talking to me?
The George the George Carlin thing about it was perfectly done.
Yes, oh my God,
he's like Mr. All Important doesn't be too far away from his phone in case Henry Kissinger calls.
I mean, I've gotten at it a few times when someone has a Bluetooth in, they're talking, and I think they're talking to me for a second. And since I live in Tallahassee, they're just crazy people that start talking about shit you weren't
cell phones, smartphones. I don't really think it matters, Sinbad. Honestly, I really think it looks silly. I mean, like,
I like it.
Don't get me wrong. I looked at the. I researched Stephen King's novel of Cell, and it actually got really good reviews. So I was actually really surprised. But I don't know. The plot looks really far-fetched. A little bit, just a little bit.
Much of his stuff nowadays seems really cheesy, but that's because he was the pioneer of it,
right?
And so he did it first. So it's cheesy, but it's like not cheesy because he did it first or whatever.
And
apparently it's starring Samuel L. Jackson. So if he's in this film, that has to mean that he actually read the
Nicolas
script.
Cage.
Is Nicolas Cage?
Oh yeah. God! Please do not tell me. Wait, Nicolas Cage is in this movie?
Yeah.
I did not see.
Oh my God!
I just saw John Cusack, and I actually really.
I forgot. Isn't Nicolas Cage like supposed to be a meme right now?
He's
now,
always been
dude, he's been a meme.
And why hasn't he addressed this?
Why would he?
Because it would be awesome if he did. That's kind of like what. Well, it's kind of like what Shia LaBeouf did, but you know.
Yeah. Well, Shia LaBeouf. Fucking Shia LaBeouf.
It's a great meme.
I like Shia LaBeouf. I actually really like his acting, but that's just me.
I mean, I actually have nothing against his acting, but the weird thing is, like, he's very good at promoting himself. You can call it arrogant or whatever you want. Like, I've heard the term. I don't really think it's that. He's just like, he is good at pimping himself, and he knows how to, and he will any opportunity he gets. Nicolas Cage, I don't think really gives a shit. He's making a lot of money and already knows he's fine, and he doesn't have any shortage of work coming in, so.
Yeah. Oh, so I just researched the director for Cell, and apparently it's the same director who directed Paranormal Activity 2.
Interesting.
So
that's weird. I mean, that's cool.
That is interesting. And no, Nicolas Cage is not in this film. I researched. He's not in it.
I think you're thinking of John Cusack.
What?
John Cusack.
I saw him in the trailer. For Cell.
We didn't see. I researched. He's not in there.
I don't. Yeah, I don't remember seeing him in there. I don't know, but anyway, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of stuff he's been in recently besides Snow Day, but a lot of the old stuff John Cusack was in, I really liked. I don't know why I like him as an actor. I really do. He's very weird, but I like.
Wait, what film? There's a film called Snow Day.
Yeah, the Snow Day way back. It's like it's a really dark one with a lot of murders and stuff. If I remember correctly.
Oh wait, that's a Nickelodeon film, dude.
Well, there's multiple ones. I need to remember what it's called. Hold on. But there's ones he used to be in a while back called like High Fidelity and Gross Point Blank and stuff like that. And those were movies I absolutely fucking adored.
Are you thinking of Snowpiercer or whatever?
Hold on.
No, I don't think that's.
Let me see.
I don't think that's it. I don't think that's the one.
Oh wait. I think I might be mixing up the movie. I think he was in Snowden.
No, he wasn't in that one.
Are you sure?
I've never heard of a film called Snow Day. There's only like one film called Snow Day.
Snowden.
Snowden. He's talking about the trailers. He thought he saw Nicolas Cage in the one for Snowden.
Well, we'll get to Snowden when we get to Snowden.
Okay.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage is in that film, but yeah.
Okay, thank you. I just didn't want to think that I was having.
No. It's just that it would have been a little better if waited before you address the next film. It's not even the next film, but anyway, let's move on.
All right.
Our next film is a film called Captain Fantastic. Next upcoming film. Apparently, it's about people living in the wilderness without, anything that the modern day society has to offer, and it's played by the guy who played Aragorn in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. But yeah, I mean, like
I like it not because like it's great or a new concept, but the stuff they did with the legal issues and everything. If you watch the trailer, I'll say things are spoilers, but they're not spoiled if you see the trailer, so fuck it.
I feel like I've seen this movie before. I'm not sure if you guys heard of it. It's called Beasts of the Southern Wild, which is a very, very beautiful film. I enjoyed it very thoroughly, and I kind of wish that you guys would see it, because I ended up crying at the end. It was beautifully done, beautiful cinematography. I actually have a review on Letterboxd if you guys want to take a look at that. But even still, I'm looking at this film, I'm like, this is kind of reminding me of Beasts of the Southern Wild, and I don't know why that is. Like, maybe it's
similar
just...
theme?
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
You saw Beasts of the Southern Wild?
Yeah, the one in New Orleans.
Yeah,
that's the one. That was a pretty good movie.
Oh my gosh, it was so beautiful.
Yeah.
I've heard of it, but I can't remember. If I saw it when I was really young and don't fucking remember anything.
Whoa. Aaron, wait. You saw Beasts of the Southern Wild? If you guys want to take a look at my review, I'll just send it to you guys right now. I have it, but, yeah, I mean, it is one of the, I dare say it's one of the best films I've ever seen.
Oh, no, I just heard of it. Never mind, 2012. Yeah, I wouldn't have been that young if I saw it. Okay, never mind.
Can you send this to the chat, please?
Sure.
Just send it to you on Telegram, and, but yeah, Beasts of the Southern Wild, one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. I have a link that is being sent on the chat right now. It's a review that I wrote on Letterboxd. I wrote it myself. I hope you guys like it. But yeah, anyway, Captain Fantastic. What do you guys think of this film? Because I think it's an interesting take. But it's interesting. What do you think, Kruz?
It's a good thing you just was gonna say this sort of remind.
It's a good thing
You reminded me of the name of that movie, Beast of the Southern Wild, because it reminded me of that, but I didn't remember the name, and then you mentioned it, so I kind of like that. I feel like I could get into again an adventure, but following them around while they're trying to sort of recuperate into the civilized world.
Right. You're cutting a little in and out, Kruz. This is a warning. I don't know if your ping's jumping back up, but you're fine. Keep going with it. But just letting you know.
Not that high, but it is that way. Oh, there it goes.
Oh, there it goes. But yeah, for me, I haven't seen Beasts of the Southern Wild. This looks interesting just because, I don't know. I've So my parents before they moved away, they're fairly hippie-tastic people, and they know some other fairly hippie-tastic people. And I also know some people just through college and stuff that do like the frontiering or pioneering, whatever you call it, where they do off the grid living, or we're going to take a year in some fucking remote location and just like survivalist it. And it's always kind of cool to see that happen. I think some of them talked before. I've heard people talk. It's like, oh well, I'd love to raise my kids this way. I've never really been a fan of that idea. Not that I'm saying, oh, it's bad, people should never do it, you're terrible for thinking, none of that shit. But it's like, it's interesting to see this movie that puts in perspective. It's like, this is sort of the challenges you'd face, like bringing in your basically wild born and raised family and bringing them into modern society, and the weird difference in habitualization between the two. So I think it's cool. And let's say I haven't seen Beasts of Southern Wild, so if this is pretty much just sort of a carbon copy clone of that, then maybe watch Beasts of Southern Wild instead. But otherwise,
no. I don't think it's a full on carbon copy. I do think it's something that I've seen before. It's under different conditions, but I do feel like it's the same story formula, more to speak.
It takes place in New Orleans after Katrina, like how they're living out
yeah,
there.
I've heard a lot about this. Yeah.
Really? I thought they were already there to begin with, and it didn't take place after Katrina. Maybe it did. I'm not too sure.
I'm not sure if it was before or after, but it was when the walls broke.
Right.
The what do they call it? The levees.
Yeah, the levee. Well, I thought it was also because of the ice age. The ice caps were melting, but anything.
No, that's that one film by fucking what's his name?
I don't know if we're in the same era here.
Yeah. But no, I was thinking of shit. I can't remember his name. Fuck it. I was gonna make the joke of his movie that's all about environmentalism and shit like that, and he's a politician.
Oh, is that Al Gore?
Al Gore, thank you. Fuck.
Jesus Christ.
Waterworld.
Yeah.
Waterworld.
I can't believe people actually really like that movie.
Someone should tell him his hockey stick is broken because medieval warming period.
By the way, guys, I hope you do take a look at my review of Beasts of the Southern Wild, because I do. You wouldn't believe that this film was written by me. I'm just saying, but even still, if you guys are interested,
by me.
Yeah, the review. You said film.
Yeah.
The film was written by me.
Well, review of the film rather.
Right.
But anyway, I guess we can move on to our final upcoming film that took me by surprise. Man Bear Pig.
Bear Pig.
That took me by surprise. Yes. Snowden. Yeah, I want to see it. I want to know the story behind Edward Snowden, who basically whistleblowed our society from thinking that people were watching us eat, drink, sleep, fuck.
Yep.
You know.
I was about to say that too.
Really?
Yeah, I was about to say, like, right, you eat, sleep, just about to interject, fuck. It's like, in the trailer, are they watching us? He's like, oh no, they're watching us.
I think it's interesting because, like, you know, it's a wild discussion of whether it's true or not. Some people say it's conspiracy theory. I honestly believe it's more than likely possible that is a thing that's been going on and is going on, because I know practicality-wise, a lot of stuff, it's like, oh, they can watch you through your webcam even if it's not on. It's like, that's not entirely true if there's no power to the computer, but if there's any sort of power, that shit is doable.
If it's off, then yeah.
Yeah,
right,
but it's like, you can hack into shit. People, and also the other thing, it's like, oh, people are watching us. It's like, that's sort of how our society works, as creepy as it is. It's like, yeah, there's a certain amount of privacy you get, but at the same time, it's like, especially after the 9/11 attacks, like, that was a thing. Right. People were on us about, like, we need to know if the threats are coming from our own country. I'm not saying they're right in doing it. I'm not saying it's good, and if we could dial that shit back, that'd be great. But it's something that this isn't new. It's something we've been living with for a while, and a lot of people, when they realize, they're like, oh shit, this means my life is going to be changed forever. It's like, not really. You've been doing this for a while now. If you keep doing what you're doing,
like some revelation.
Yeah, it's like, unless you start dealing like massive amounts of meth or something. Like,
I'm not sure if you follow. You do realize that Edward Snowden has a Twitter account, right?
I don't see what it has to do with any of this, but continue.
It involves the movie Snowden.
The movie's about him.
Yeah, but you say you do realize, like, what? I guess the way you said it, so you do realize it sounded like it was addressing what we were just talking about. Are you just moving to a new point?
No, I'm not moving to a moot point. I'm trying to stay relevant to the topic.
Okay, so but why does I'm not trying to attack him. I'm just honestly confused. So he has a Twitter.
Was that? I'm sorry. Was that like non sequitur?
Well, okay. Let's start over. So where were you going with that? Because I'm just confused. I didn't know he had a Twitter, but it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, he has a Twitter account at Snowden. I'll just type it down. But even still, if you guys are interested to follow him on Twitter, I already follow him because he. Anyway, but yeah, Snowden. I want to see the film because I want to see, what this film is technically going to be about, how Snowden came to be. Like, because I never heard of Edward Snowden until he was a whistleblower.
Well, that's true for most. Well, of course, because he was in a branch of the government that you weren't supposed to really know a lot about. But that's why, like, his identity wasn't meant to be like, this is a person in charge of a lot of our national secrets. Here's his face, here's his name, here's where he lives, here's the place he likes to frequent, everything you need to fucking, like, tackle the guy and steal our nation's secrets. But yeah, no, when he became a whistleblower, that was a ballsy thing, definitely. So.
And I'm wondering if he actually did that, like, if he actually, I don't want to spoil, but, like, in the trailer, like, his Rubik's Cube, if that's actually how he did it.
Well, we'll know if, it's based off a true story, but that could just be, I think that's just, that could just be an added feature they decided to add in.
Probably, but if it's true, that would be awesome.
It would be awesome and pretty ballsy at the same time.
I think like they'll try to keep it as close as possible, but it is a Hollywoodification. You have to do something that's a little grandiose or have a hook in, otherwise people don't care. So. Well,
I mean that's what film is all about, right?
Yep.
Sex and violence, gotta have it.
Well, that's more of Western culture, but we'll leave that for a different discussion.
No. Even Disney films have this. You may not think, I don't see any sex in this Disney film.
Innuendos.
Trust me, they have it. I
saw like a Watch Mojo video about like the top 10 Disney innuendos. God.
So the Disney castle penis. And things like that.
I think that was a separate thing, but there were like one was what's her name? The Woody and the fucking sheep woman. I don't remember.
Oh, yeah.
That
Bo
was
Peep.
one. Bo Peep, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of them.
Wow.
That would be.
That's just remind me of all the fucking Woody memes where he has a creeper face, the toy.
Snake in my boot.
I'd like to put a snake in your Woody. No.
Great face, Woody. Yeah.
Don't forget about there is this like remember Judy Hopps was like, I am just a dumb bunny, but we are good at multiplying, and that could mean that could be taken as.
Yeah, that was actually I got it when it happened, but I totally forgot about that. But yeah, they sneak a lot of adult humor, but also that's been a thing in cartoons for ages, especially when it became more to a kid basis, because they know parents have to watch the stuff with their kids, and they slip in shit that only the parents are going to get.
Of course,
most notably, Animaniacs references, but Animaniacs.
Good night, everybody.
Yep.
What?
I still need to watch more.
Yakko.
I still need to watch more. Yeah, you want to know something funny? Kruz reminds me of Wacko.
You think
For
so?
whatever reason. I think so.
I can see that.
I mean, like, you're gonna have to describe it to me because I've not seen it in a very long time.
It's on Netflix. You have to watch it. Why don't you have your own Netflix account?
I don't know. I never made it. Apparently, I can use the one that my family has, and I have a profile, but I haven't logged into it or found it at all.
Does that make Shujja the impossibly cute one? Does Shujja get to be Dot? Because obviously, between the way Scarfy and I ramble on forever, we're basically the Yakkos. But
yeah, we're technically, but even still,
I call the pants half.
Of course.
All right.
Anyway. But even still, I guess we can move on to our letters that we got on.
Yeah, let me check that. Actually, I did not have that up this time around, so let me see if we got more. And if you want to check
the stream is awesome.
You're welcome to. This is not that email. This is a different email. Hold on for a sec.
So do you guys like have any questions for me regarding anything? If so, just please ask me in the chat because I'd really like that.
I have some questions. Hold up. God damn it, Aaron! Aaron wants to know how the corn is today.
Oh my god. Well,
very buttery, very it's very salty.
It's not been anywhere near Prospect Park for years. By the way, #fuck Prospect Park.
But yeah, that's really all I have to say. Corn is awesome. I remember Walter.
I had an account follow me that was like a bear with corn. I don't know what the fuck it was. It's just a bear who loves corn.
You wanna know something funny? Walter wanted to tweet to Corn and give me a shout out, and have Corn give me a shout out. But the problem is that I'd feel so awkward because I never listened to a single song from Corn.
Oh, Freak on a Leash.
Oh my god, yeah, really, like early Corn.
Have you not heard that one?
That was my fucking jam, dude.
I mean, I'm more to like newer stuff, but still, I've heard a lot of their different songs. All the eras. They used to be a lot heavier than that.
That's all I really have. There's another email, but I don't think it's a question. I thought it was. I was going to address that, but it's. I believe it's addressed specifically to you. Just a comment to you. So look at you being Scarfy. So look at the email when you have a chance. Okay.
Okay. Today was very mellow today.
Yeah, well, we knew that was sort of coming. We started late because, apologies everybody, by the way, the reason we started late is a friend of mine came back from Japan. He teaches English over there, and I wanted to go see him because he's been there for like a year. So I had to drive down to Tampa to see him and to see my my best friend, or oldest friend, best friend for like 20 years going that I've known. I hadn't seen them in a long time, and so I had to go, and I was away, and a lot of this shit ran late, and there's some other stuff I did, so it's my fault we started late, but thank you so much for joining us. We know it's not always most convenient to do late things on Sunday. I guess I'm mostly addressing the East Coast people. All you further west people, I guess, is perfectly fine. You don't really give a shit either way, but thank you for joining us because we appreciate it.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I want to call it quits here. Personally,
I am going to say if you could, that'd be great because I still have a weekend's worth of stuff I missed I need to get back on. So, but if you have something you really want to address right now, or if we have questions, I'll gladly do those before we go.
No, I don't really have any questions right now.
Does the chat?
Yeah. No, there really is no questions. There's no questions at all.
Corn reference.
No, there are no questions. They're just corn.
Walter and I back and forth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Y'all want a single say fuck that.
Oh man. All right. Well, I'm
Thoughtless is a great one.
Wait,
By the way, random thing. Thoughtless. The music video for that. What's his face? Who plays Jesse from Breaking Bad is in it.
Oh yeah, what's his face? I love what's his face. What a great actor. Sorry, I'm being a dick. I don't know the actor's name either, so I can't help you.
But anyway, I guess we can call it quits for this episode. Very mellow today. Not much going on. It's just kind of a
It's a smooth Sunday.
It was a very smooth Sunday. I do have one thing to. I do have one.
Sorry, go ahead.
I do have one thing to announce for next Sunday. Next Sunday, we're going to have our very own Renegade Rue appearing to us on Subwuffer Entertainment Treehouse, as well as another guest. We will not give the name to that one, but we just want to let you know that Renegade Rue will be a guest on our show next Sunday. Hee hee.
Nice.
And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about Ratchet & Clank, which I had the option to see. We have a lot to talk about. I'm hoping that Kruz and Zach will definitely go see it. Unfortunately, most definitely.
I just gotta find time to do it.
Yeah, I know, right? I know.
Of course.
I could do it, but I have concert Thursday. I may have an event thing on Friday, Saturday. I could do it, but I don't know if I'll be out of money by then.
Okay, but even still. But yeah, I guess we can say our goodbyes. Why don't you go first, Zach?
All right, yep. My name is Zach Gray, also known as Booze Wolf. As always, thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you with Renegade, who, if you've not heard his voice before, we had, it was Fantastic Mr. Fox and Shudder, and they had a sexy voice off. This
You mean Fantastic Mr. Fulf?
Fulf, sorry. And,
or Foxy.
Yes. When they had a sexy voice off, Renegade would give them, I'm not going to say he beats you guys if you're listening to this, but he will give you a run for his money. The man has smooth vocals, so do tune in.
It'll be a threesome.
Cheers, kids. Good seeing you as always.
And you, Kruz?
And me.
Well, are you gonna say goodbye?
Well, 4 can play that sexy voice.
I thought you
will get this.
I thought you were just being a smartass to Scarfy. It's like, all right, and you, Kruz, obviously getting you to say goodbye. It's like,
that wasn't necessarily my intention.
That's it.
All right. Well,
but anyway, goodbye.
All right, and my name is Scarfy Conley, and I'm gonna go watch Game of Thrones.
Sounds good. All right, we will see you beautiful people in a week.
All right, bye-bye.